Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Anetta for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Monday. A lot of stuff. Sales were kind of weird because like we had to ship out stuff on Saturday because the post office was closed for 4th of July on Friday. So we had like a quantity. I think there's like 30 items here, but some of the sales are wonky because there's like some days where it's just a lot of small stuff, which is really good. I appreciate all the small stuff. Like everything matters. But and then we also had like a day that was like really good. I think it was it Saturday? I'm not too sure which one. All right, first thing is going to be this Guild Ball Morticians Guild token set. So Guild Ball is going to be a game that was made by Steamforged Games. It's not around anymore, but you would have these like little factions of characters. This is the Morticians. There was like farmers. There was like some water ones. I forget all of the factions right now that I'm recording, but these are going to be a token set for a particular guild, the Morticians. So yeah, people like to use these token sets. This is official. Sold for $10 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping. All right, moving along, we have some Flames of War figures. It's like a big lot of them. I have to see where I put everything. Everything's just kind of all over the place. Sorry, give me a second right here. Oh, it's always right in front of my eyes. Yeah, so this is going to be, I believe these are Soviet naval infantry right here. You have some of them on their bases already, and then you also have a bunch of loose figures. They're probably just going to glue them onto their own bases. Maybe they'll pop off the ones that are on like the bases that someone already did. They started putting some flock on it, which is like the fake grass. They'll like super glue it and then put it on to make it look nice when it's on the tabletop. These figures are nicely painted in a decent way. So this one to repeat buyer for $16. All right, moving along, we have a Lego Duplo promotional little Lego right here. So Duplo's the bigger ones. This right here is Illinois Grand Opening 2003 Northbrook Court Woodfield Mall. So they'll do a little promotional figure or stuff if you go to grand openings and stuff like that. I've never been to one, but it's obvious just by reading this, but it makes sense that Lego has a lot of cool promos. So someone wants that for whatever reason. I had two more of this particular Northbrook Court Mall one, because I think it was a family of three that probably went to it. So this ended up going for $11.47, and I relisted the other ones when I was there at the storage unit, or at least like one more. All right, moving along, we have a CD. I don't know too much about CDs other than I got a bunch for cheap. I do like selling media mail. This one, what's this one called? This is called Peter Murphy's Deep right here. Everything's in good condition. Listed these a long time ago. I have about like 100 more CDs to go. Our full car was full many years ago. These are still selling to this day, $4.29. As you can tell, that's not like super expensive, but we spent $75 on the whole car full. So it didn't take too long to list most of them. It just gets a little boring. I know listing can be boring, but those are like extra boring for me sometimes. Not all the time. All right, moving along, we have this bag of 5. I think it's by company. What's the company? There was like a note in here. This is going to be Classic Toy Soldiers. So these are just gonna be little army men's. These are in good condition. They're like a gray. It almost feels like the material is better than when you get like one of those cheaper bags, if you know what I mean. So yeah, like this person's throwing a grenade, and there's different positions. I got a bunch of soldier stuff all the time. I'll get like Mark stuff. I think it's called, there's Timmy, MPC, all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's any of these brands, but yeah, this ended up going for $9. So just a lot of 5 of them. Normally, like army men come in like bigger bags. All right, next up is going to be a set of 18 Star Wars Armada. These are going to be upgrade cards. So Star Wars Armada is by Fantasy Flight Games. They have their smaller game X-Wing, where you're using a couple ships and doing some dogfights in space. Armada is you're using like the bigger fleets, and then you'll have like, they'll still have the smaller ships, but everything actually, as the miniatures on the game, are super tiny. So they're super tiny, so you can fit more on it and have like an Armada battle. These are going to be upgrade cards. These, I don't know, I think these are from the base game. There's a lot of expansions. A lot of this stuff's actually pretty expensive. All right, next up, people do like the game, both Armada and X-Wing. I would say X-Wing is probably slightly more popular because it's cheaper to get on the secondhand market now, so it's more affordable for people to get. Armada was kind of like a weird one where they already released X-Wing, I think, for a year or two. Then they announced Armada, and it was kind of like their own product was kind of conflicting with each other, because like, do you get both of the games and try to keep up on 2 miniature games? They have like some similar rules, but they're different. So it was like a weird release. All right, moving along, we have a rare card right here from Super Deck. I sold like a lot of these, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. This is just a rare card, Twin Towers. This ended up going for $9.50. I had another one, so I relisted it. I don't know too much about this Super Deck game. It says it's from the 90s, and then I sold a little bit of it, and then I listed all the stuff I got from auction. All right, moving along, we have these I think the brand's EKO right here. These are going to be little transport boats, like a military ones. They're like plastic feeling. They're like decent for the plastic, but they are like kind of delicate. These end up going for $13. People like to pick up all the military stuff. All right, next up is going to be some video games. just two sports games: PlayStation 2 Madden 2008, PlayStation 2 Madden 2009. I didn't really play any of the sports games other than like the really offshoots, like the Mario Strikers for the soccer one, or there was a what was the GameCube one? There was one that I liked, the NBA Street Jam or something. I can't remember the name of it right now. I played a bunch of that, but people do collect old sports games. They're not expensive. I kind of save these at this point. I don't list these anymore. I have just like a bunch of like sports games that I collect, hoping that like at some point someone will appreciate them more than for $7. But I do list some of them sometimes. So someone's going to play those and appreciate it. They just want to probably play like this certain nostalgia for the players or the year at the time, or they're doing a full collection of PlayStation 2 games, and this is like the lower end ones they need. So you never know what people are grabbing them for. All right, move along. We have this right here. It's going to be Axis and Allies board game tokens right here. These are just going to be a bunch of tokens. Never played the game when I was a kid. Like a lot of like adults near me and stuff, like we're into the game. Obviously, it's too complicated when I'm like 6 or 8, but it looks like a pretty cool game. I know there are some Axis and Allies that can be expensive. This is just the little tokens for it. Still went for $12.74, just to let you know, like people really like that game. All right, moving along, we have National Geographic. I do pretty well with these. I've been talking about this. Indians of North America right here. So this is just like one of those inserts in, I believe, the National Geographic magazines. It'll end up having like a fold out. It'll be like maps, and then there's going to be like information. And then people probably collect these. They get the magazine, and then they don't have the inserts, and then they want to complete it or they want to go through it. $6.50. I do better with the inserts than the actual magazines themselves. They're kind of like okay. All right, moving along. We have this one. This is a leopard stuffed animal. Looks like a Beanie Baby. I believe it's not a Beanie Baby, like not the brand. And it has this like collar right here that someone put on it. It says Vicoprofen. So some kind of like branded thing or medicine or something. And it has a little collar. So whenever there's like interesting or unique like markers on stuff, I do take a note of that, because someone might want to pick it up for one reason or another, even if I don't know what the reason they're picking up for. So this end I'm going for $15. All right, moving along, we have a War Machine Convergence of Crisis. Convergence of Crisis, I think is what they're called. Where is it? It's this going to be this figure in the clamshell. This is going to be some optics. It's like a directive group of 3. So there's War Machine and Hordes. War Machine is going to be a steampunk tabletop game. Convergence of Crix is an interesting one because they were like a newer faction that was added to the game at some point. And I believe there's less stuff of the Convergence of Crix. They just kind of like added in a new faction where they hadn't done that in a long time. So yeah, these ones end up going for $15. There's that for the War Machine. I do believe they would probably go for more because there's less of them out there. What was like, there's also like Grimkin for Hordes that there's actually very little figures for, but still playable faction. Those go for a lot just because they were added late to the game, and then I believe they canceled the game at some point. All right, move along. We have these. It's missing 2 pieces for the board game. Avalon Hill Gettysburg. I've sold the game before. I've sold it incomplete. I've sold the rules. I've sold the board before. It was interesting because I had an actual complete set of tokens, and then I had an incomplete set right here. I think the cat's making some noise. It's distracting me. But yeah, right here, someone's picking up these little chit tokens for $15. Those are just the tokens that denote like infantry, officers. I don't know if there's vehicles and stuff or cannons in this for the Gettysburg one. I'm not sure if these. Oh, there are some. I can see that. All right. Moving along, we have a cake pan. Got a bunch of cake pans some point last year. This is, you probably can't see because I like to wrap up stuff as best as I can in storage just to prevent as much dust and dirt. And it's not going to be like perfect, but yeah, this is going to be a teddy bear right here. It has the 2 sides, and then it also has the like the stick on the bottom right there, which helps it cook, I believe. This ended up going for $14.99, or help like shape it or something, or maybe you can put stuff in the teddy bear like custards and stuff. I'm not too sure. I'm not a baking expert. I did try to get into baking like over 10 years ago. It's expensive. I tried to cook a bunch of stuff from like scratch. It was a fun experiment. I do like it, but yeah, it's expensive. You got to have like a good kitchen. All right, move along. We have this right here. I think it's this little Spitfire die-cast plane. Got a bunch of these a bit ago, and they've been doing pretty well. I remember in the video I was excited. I was like, these are going to do well. They're going to sell slowly, and then I was correct. This one ended up going for $11.99. All right, moving along. These look like junk for probably a normal person. When I see these are great, and I just picked these up before as well. These are going to be Heroscape terrain tiles. These are individual ones. These are a sparkly water one. So there's this is Heroscape is an older game. They did reboot it. I don't know if it's not cross platform. I don't know if you can use the old stuff with the new stuff. I want to say no, but you can definitely probably use the terrain. but I don't play it now. I only collected it when I was a kid, so I don't fully know. But these little hex trains, or these little pieces, represent a little. Think of them as Lego pieces, kind of like this Lego earlier, where people build up these massive. They might build up like a castle or like a whole scenario. Like if you look it up online, you'll see a bunch of cool designs that people create, and they're kind of hard to find. You don't get too many of these in starter sets and like in the booster packs and stuff like that. So people do pay up for them, especially if they want. There's gonna be like dirt, grass, lava, rocks. There's a bunch of different kinds. All right, these 14 little ones went for $10. Like you can also get not single hexes, but like 3 hexes, or there's like bigger ones. I forget all the different sizes. I find them all the time. All right, next up is pretty cool combo order. Kind of a lot of random stuff. It's all like board game related, so super cool. They were talking to me and we were figuring out the deal. We ended up selling everything for $62. So we have Carta Impera Victoria right here. Civ, this is a civilization game. I don't know too much about it other than I've seen it before, and I just know that it's like a smaller box civilization game. And then they also got some Zombicide. These are going to be some monsters. These are, I believe, are from one of the expansions. Zombicide has a ton of stuff at this point, but yeah, I do think some of the expansions go for more. They picked up these really cool aesthetic. These are like wooden board game cubes. I'm not too sure. They're probably using them for some kind of board game or some kind of crafting or something. There's orange, purple, black, and white. Pretty good. I do sell like random stuff like that all the time, like just bits and pieces. All right, and then we have Descent, Journeys in the Dark, second edition. It's just a little booklet. These come from lieutenants. Lieutenants have these extra little threat tokens, and on the backside they have fortune tokens. Descent, Journeys in the Dark. It's a pretty cool game. I've played it. This is second edition. But yeah, these little tokens are the Overlord gets these ones when they defeat a hero. There are revive mechanics in the game, so they can come back up. So they defeat a hero, but if they use them on these powers and abilities that they purchase, then the heroes get a fortune token, which allows them to, depending on how many they have, they can like re-roll or get an extra action. And I forgot what like the last thing is for it. Oh yeah, maybe a movement. No, free roll. These end up. Oh, sorry, these didn't go for 62. It's still part of the combo order. Then we have this board game, Visitor, in Blackwood Grove. Don't know anything about this one. It kind of looks like it says an Aliens 80 Adventure right here. It looks like maybe like a party game, like kind of like loose game. You know, there's not gonna be a lot of rules. It's just gonna be kind of like a fun vibes type of thing. I like to pick up the games that kind of like are more unique, or the ones that I don't fully recognize, and I'm like, I'll pick it up. I like the cover of this. I like the back of it. Someone else appreciate it as well. We also have like a pretty classic one, backgammon. I have picked up good backgammon like boards and pieces. They do pretty well. Any vintage chess stuff that's like super well done goes for a lot. This is just a Pressman one. I don't want to like flip it too much. I don't want stuff going all over the place. And then the last thing they got was this great puzzle right here, Halloween Pets. It's just a bunch of dogs. Is there also cats in it? Sorry, I also don't want the pieces going all over the place. It might just be dogs in Halloween outfits. So yeah, this looks like a pretty fun puzzle. It's gonna be a little bit of a hard puzzle. All right, moving along, we have an RPG Dungeon Master screen. This is going to be for a game called Rippers Resurrected. Don't know much about it other than it looks like a vampire themed, and people like that kind of stuff, especially for role playing. Fantasy is probably gonna be on the top, and then I would say, yeah, probably like the vampire, kind of like that realm. Werewolf would probably be close seconds. Maybe cyberpunk sci-fi stuff, but I feel like the people love the vampire, werewolves, that kind of horror, like Frankenstein and stuff like that. But like kind of offshoots. It doesn't have to be like super classic of that. Zombies. This ended up going for $9 for that. It's a screen that folds out and has information for the Dungeon Master with all the rules. Not all the rules. Sorry, not all the rules. A lot of rule reminders on their end, and then the players get to see the art on the outside, and then Dungeon Master can roll dice behind it, and then they get to tell the players what's happening without the players knowing, because the Dungeon Master is like the person that runs the whole game. All right, moving along, we have this Sports Illustrated, just like a little game talk, like little booklets. I haven't gotten too much Sports Illustrated stuff in general. There was like a handful I got from like an auction house that was moving. I don't even remember listing this one, but this went to a repeat buyer for $13, so I'm not too sure. It's probably just like a little insert or like a little side product from the Sports Illustrated. All right, next up is I can't say this. Mitsubishi, like airplane, little die-cast plane right here. Sorry if I said that one wrong. This had a little story with it, because when I was at the storage unit, when I got a lot of these planes, a lot of them did have the broken wheels, but I would picture them in my listings. A lot of them still sold. It's a very easy fix for people to use like some kind of super glue or hobby glue or plastic glue. But this one broke during storage, and I did not have it pictured, so I put the little wheel right here. I sent the buyer a message today apologizing. like, hey, do you still want this? I was like, I sent them pictures of both the stuff. I was like, I messed it up during storage, but it does look like it can be fixed with hobby glue. Mine's all dried out right now, which is super annoying, or else I would have fixed it. But I still would have let them know. All right, this ended up going for $11.99. Actually, I probably would have messaged them first to see if they would want me to even attempt to fix it. I feel like you have to like go from like where the item's at that point. All right, next up is going to be 3 Star Wars Armada token sheets. This is for the Star Wars Armada game I was talking about. So you have a bunch of little tokens that they're going to be using. These are unpunched. These are from the base game. So there's 3 of them here. Lots of different like tokens. These are bases to some ships. These are going to be like different. Some of these are like dodge, evade, and I forgot what like the other ones are. I think I read the rules to this game. I never played it. So this sold for $15, but when I read the rules, it was like the year it came out. So it's been a while. I don't remember the full year. If I had to take a guess off the top of my head, it would be around 2015. All right, moving along, we have this right here, close up. USA, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. National Geographic insert again. Doing well with my little inserts. I haven't listed any of this kind of stuff in a long time. I do like the ephemera. It's pretty chill for me to list. I can like list a lot. The problem with the ephemera, well, it's not a big problem, is I've gone through different stages of how I organize it. So that was a, oh, we got a, watch out, Mindy. We got a, careful. We have a, storage, sorry, I had a solution where I would put them in baggies and have letters, and that was super good. This was just, they were kind of out in the open because I had too many. So I was out of baggies at the time, so I was supposed to go back and re-baggie them, but at this point I just never got around to it. All right, but moving along, we have this right here. This is going to be a military Jeep plastic figure. There's also 2 little drivers inside there, and then we also have, it's like a little, oh, it's the hatch for the back of it. All right, watch out, Mindy. I can't get you. You're dodging me. All right, that sold for $12. All right, next up is going to be, she really comes up here. Let's see what we have. It's going to be Star Wars Armada. She threw off my train of thinking. This is going to be a cargo, Class C cargo container. This is going to just be an objective token. So there's a lot of expansions that come with like scenarios and campaigns you can do within these games. But yeah, oh, sorry, this is for X-Wing. This is for X-Wing, the smaller version of the small ships going against each other. People do play the scenarios. You don't have to just do the dueling format. This sold for $5.99 to repeat buyer. I was having like trouble figuring out like no one else had that particular just piece listed. So it sold pretty quickly, so maybe it was like a super sought after one, but I don't think it would go for like super like a lot more. It is just one piece. All right, move along. We have a HeroClix figure. This is going to be Quinton Turnbull right here. Got a bunch of these. Watch out, Mindy. You have to go. All right, sorry guys. She's gonna start being sassy. Watch out. Watch out. You dodging? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I know. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. All right. HeroClix figure that doesn't have a card. This ended up going for $8.99. It is a rare. I forgot what like Fast Forces set that came from. So Fast Forces are, think of them not as a starter set. HeroClix will have boosters, starter sets, Fast Forces. They've also come up with some other products throughout the time. That was a Fast Forces, which they don't always come with. I think most of the time they don't come with rules. It's just like, here's that they call them Fast Forces because like you go buy and just start playing with some, and you can with those. All right, moving along, we have this Reaper Miniatures metal figure, Dark Haven Legends. They have all these different like little branded things. I thought these would go for more when I first ran across them. This is Ilsa Darkstep Thief. So someone probably just got this because they're going to make a thief character in an RPG game. They're going to paint it up or have their dungeon master paint it up. We got a dissident over here. This ended up going for $9.60. All right, moving along, we have a lot of 3 Games Workshop sprues, miniature bits and pieces from, is this 1990? Yeah, 1999. I have no idea what these ones went to. It just has GW on the little edge right here. So yeah, it looks like little vehicle bits and pieces right here. All right. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out. All right, so we got these over here. Sorry, moving along. Oh, those went for $11.99. People still like the bits and pieces. She really wants my attention. And then we have super rare for me doing this in the morning. She wants the attention. It's probably because I was gone most of yesterday, so she gets like anxious when I'm gone. She's like, ow, she's like by my side all the time. So she gets sad when I'm gone. So then the next day when I'm around, she wants like all of the attention. So yeah, these are going to be skirmish miniatures right here. Well painted. I sold some of these earlier. They have the green flocking on them. So yeah, people do pick these up. I took a gamble on these miniatures. I talked about it a couple of days ago when I sold them. I kind of paid up for a partial box of them. A lot of other people were paying like $100 or $200 for like full boxes of a lot of these well-painted miniatures from different time periods. These were labeled skirmish. I wasn't too sure. No one, I think only one other person bid on me for the skirmish ones. Made a lot of my money back. These lot of 4 went for $14.99. That was also weird because that was started as a lot of 5, and then I broke off one of them. Normally I don't separate my listings, but the person gave me a good offer for one of them. They said $6.50. I'm like, that's a pretty good deal because I had like the whole thing for 18. I'm like, but for one of the 5, they give me $6.50, and then they bought like $27 of other ones. So yeah, $14.99. That is not going to repeat buyer, so that's going to someone else different. All right, last up right here is going to be Battlelore 2nd edition, but unfortunately this thing is going to be missing all the miniatures. So I talk about the Memoir 44, the World War II game. That is a game where you're playing out scenarios from World War II, and then you have cards in your hand, and the cards let you know which troops on which side of the board. There's a left, center, middle. It's a pretty cool game, and then there's going to be like objectives of how you win. It's not always just defeat all the enemies. So this is going to be the fantasy version of that system. Same company. There's going to be a left, center, and middle. It's going to be with fantasy characters. Super cool game. This is a game I would want to have or get into. I don't have anything of it other than like this thing that I just sold right here. I don't have like a base game that I paid for cheaper back when like I was playing board games. So it's kind of like one of those ones where I have plenty of board games. I don't really want to spend up on something when I have a lot of other stuff to go through right now. But it is one where if I had infinite time and money and space, it would intrigue me. I would definitely play something like this. So yeah, this ended up going for $25. All right, my cat's done with the video. All right, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone has a good one.